The New York Islanders absolutely get throttled by the Buffalo Sabres 7-1 tonight. And I have been dreading this game for about a week and a half. I seen this collision course coming way back then. I go, oh, for a week and a half, I've been hoping for Buffalo to win a game that they wouldn't be coming into this game on a 13 game losing streak against the Islanders, who probably played their best game of the year last game and now may have come back with their worst game of the year. However, I don't know whether to say that because, the memory fades. There are a bundle of games to pick from the worst game of the year for the Islanders. I'm not even sure this is it, but it's definitely in the top five, that's for sure. Another chance to do something and get to 500, but no, we decide to go back to, which seems to be our spot this year, two games below 500. This is going to be a really short podcast. I don't want to bring nobody's going to want to watch this podcast after losing 7-1 unless they want to see me dangle it and lose my mind. But why lose my mind over what I just watched? That was just absolutely horrendous by the Islanders. A full team effort of horrible. It was just awful. The defense was horrible. Passing was I've been complaining about our passing all year long. It was absolutely horrible. And then our overpassing. Oh my God. I have never seen so much overpassing in my entire life. This is something that I've never gotten. I was a goal scorer, but I was also really good passing. I usually led my team on assists because I had good vision. But you never had to tell me to shoot the puck, especially when I'm standing in the middle of the ice in front of the net. I've never seen so many guys with an aversion to shooting the puck in my entire life. Thank goodness we got a guy like Siplikov who at least will fire the puck at the net. But as for the rest of the guys, I don't know, man. Like seriously, what do you got against scoring goals? And the no finish rears its ugly head again tonight, where Buffalo seemed to have finished. They had no problem putting the puck in the net. The specialty teams is another thing to talk about, which is just beyond ridiculous. Let's be honest here. The PK gave up two goals in three attempts. Sure, the stats say one goal in three attempts. Think of this for a second. This is not the first time the Islanders have given up goals 1 second, 2 seconds after a power play has ended. And those ones don't even count on our horrible statistics. As a matter of fact, if anything, they're a positive for us because they count as a penalty kill. That actually counted as a penalty kill for us. And we've had that happen way more than once this year. I can think of about four times we've had a goal scored on us right as the power play ended. And there could be even more than that, which would make our atrocious PK even worse than it is right now. Uh, wow, it's just a whole bunch of horrible. Another thing I want to talk about tonight is the thing with Sorokin, the Bronx cheer on Sorokin. How dare you Islander fans give Sorokin a Bronx cheer like that? Let me tell you, when I saw Ilya wave to the crowd like that, I just had one major flashback. I had a major flashback of Patrick Waugh doing the very same thing. I think it was 8-1 in the game he was against. The only difference is that when Patrick did it, he went and put his arm in the air and waved at everybody and then promptly went off the ice and said, I will never play for this team again. Like seriously, people, I know the Bronx cheer was probably more for the team than it was for Sorokin, but how can you make Sorokin feel like that? I'm ashamed of you. I'm ashamed of all of you. But you know what? I didn't pay a whole lot of money to see tonight's game, and I know you guys did, and I know it's a Christmas season, and I guess I don't blame you. But just be careful how you handle the real important people on this team. And Sorokin is the most important person on this team. And to make him feel like crap like that, shame on you, Islander fans. Shame on you. All right, let's get into talking about the game. We give up our 23rd for the 23rd time in 36 games. We've given up the first goal of the game. No big surprise as Buffalo takes an early lead on a goal by Mallenstein. Our defense was just so porous in this game. I can't even talk about. I'm not even going to talk about each and individual breakdown of each goal because there were so many defensive lapses by so many people. Some of the the common culprits that were doing it was Pellick and Dobson. They were absolutely horrendous tonight. Horrendous tonight. So hopefully we can get out of this period down 1-0, but nope. We give up another one to Kulkin, and 2-0 after two. You can pretty much tell Buffalo losing 13 in a row, Islanders down 2-0. You know this had loss written all over it. The Islanders didn't even come to play in the first period. They were a half a step behind every time. They were playing what you call a flat-footed game. To when you were in the mood and you're playing hockey, you never stop skating. You're just flying out there. And the Islanders were flat-footed tonight. Every time they got the puck, they were flat-footed. Take them a half second to get going. By the time they took that half second to get going, there was a Sabre on top of them, stripping them of the puck. It was just horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And this went on all game long. The first period was the worst, if not the second being the worst. And let's be honest, that was a power play goal. So way to go, Islanders. And then in the second period, we pretty much seal our fate when Zucker scores against us to make it 3-0. Shortly after that, Benson scores to make it 4-0. Shortly after that, Quinn makes it 5-0. And then we save ourselves from being shut out for the sixth time in 36 games, which would be an average of being shut out once every 9 games, which is just unacceptable, unsatisfactory, unsat. No bueno. It was a beautiful pass from Declare. Palmieri, easy goal, pretty much tap in. George made a nice play to get it up top. Uh, 5-1 doesn't really matter. Gonna go to the third one. Let's go to Thompson and his empty netter as we pull the goaltender with 12 minutes left in the period. Why not, Patrick? Why not? Except for the fact that you're absolutely killing me fantasy wise with the plus minus on. I got all my players out there on the ice for that. So 6-1. And then to make matters worse, on a 1-on-2, the Sabres scored their seventh goal on puck that probably Sorokin should have had, but probably a shot that should have never been taken when you're doing 1-on-2. I've never seen so many giveaways in my life. That was a bad giveaway by George. I hate to point it out on a goal because there was just so many by so many people. So I'm just basically going to talk through the players here, and we're going to do it in relatively quick order today, that's for sure. Okay, I thought Sipkov had an okay game, not his best game, but at least he was shooting the puck. He had 5 shots on net tonight, and he was only a -1 in a 7-1 loss. So, like I said, not his best game of the year, but yeah, at least he was doing the right things out there. If everybody had played like Sipkov played tonight, we wouldn't have lost 7-1. I'll put it that way. Holmstrom, also a -1 tonight. I just want to say that one thing I noticed about Simon is his forechecking. He's an absolutely outstanding forechecker with that long reach and long stick. He really uses it to his advantage really, really well. Duclair, he's still finding his way back, but basically 2 assists in 2 games, and it was a beauty of an assist. It was a nice play. I hate to diminish it just because it was the first goal after we were losing 5-0, but nice play by him. But it's still going to take Declare a little bit of time to get back into it. I thought Barzell had his legs tonight. He was flying out there, but I thought really he was the only one on his line that was really doing anything. So nothing really happened that much. And still, it was a whole bunch of Barzell making a lot of nothing happen, even though he had puck possession. So we kind of need more out of him than that. And Bo Horvat also had an okay game. There were spurts in there that he did okay, but not so good. The Horvat line kind of suffered tonight. Like Barzell was -3, Horvat was -2. Now you can throw one of those minuses in for an empty netter, but still, these guys had the majority of the ice time. I mean, they were probably our best line, and that's not saying much. I guess. I guess they were our best line tonight. If they were, not by much. I really can't think of another line that actually challenged them tonight, so I guess I have to give it to them, even though it was the Nelson line that ended up scoring our only goal. Fashing, he only had 7 minutes of ice time, did his fourth line thing. It's hard to pin this one on him, so Okay game for Fasching, only a -1, but that's something you don't want out of your fourth line. You don't want them going into a minus, and they did. So mission not accomplished there. Palmieri, not his best game, but he did score the goal for us tonight. He's been fairly consistent for us. I just want to say that I really think that I said in my last podcast that the lines that we had for the Leafs were not the lines I would have went with, but I said who am I to know, because the lines that we had in Toronto played great. But unfortunately, there's a really noticeable trend here. We're basically losing Palmieri and Nelson almost every game ever since they've lost Sipikov. Why you would separate a line that has magic chemistry is beyond me. And it's not like if you go back to it, it's not like you're hurting the other lines. Like it won't hurt you to put Duclair, Barzell, and Horvat together. Those guys were working great at the start of the season. So now let's at least have two really strong lines working, ones with chemistry, ones that work well together, and go with that. And there's no shame on the third line, because you're gonna have Anders Lee, Pacho, and Holmstrom on it. It just to me, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know how they don't see it to waste that, to take Sipikov up and play him with Horvat, and that making Horvat the best line and stuff like that. Well, that's great. But to take two players out of the equation, like both Palmieri and Nelson, especially when you know Horvat can play with others, he doesn't need Sipikov. He just give him Barzell and Duclair, and he'll be fine. So I really think that these are the units that we need to go to. There's so much more to it than just assembling a line. It's when you find line chemistry, you don't give up on it. It's magic. Guys, I remember making passes without looking and putting it right on the tape of my line mates, because I knew exactly where they were going to be. We had chemistry in our lines. You don't have that when you're going to somebody different. And when the three of Palmieri, Nelson, and Sipikov showing the chemistry that they have is just unfathomable to me that you would break that up. But such is the case. Anders Lee, not his best game of the night, but he was feisty out there. He tried to lead a little bit, but still not good enough for him. Brock Nelson, same thing goes for him. Sure, he gets an even tonight because he was on the ice for the goal we scored. But it's just not good enough. We need so much more out of Brock, and the way to get more out of Brock is put Sipikov back on his line. That's just the way to do it. I was really super excited to see something out of Kyle McLean tonight. The way he fought for that breakaway on that shorthanded effort so reminded me of the Kyle McLean from last year. That's the Kyle McLean that we want to see. The way he battled through that, the fight and everything. Sure, he didn't score, but he will if he keeps playing like that. So I like seeing that. That was a positive trend for me for sure. Pajo, same thing. Not a great game for Pager as well. Cizikas, not a good game for him either. Going to our defenseman, Adam Pelech. Oh my God, what a tire fire! It is so hard to watch Adam Pelech playing like this when I'm so used to a certain standard out of Pelech, and to watch what's happening to him right now, it's just horrendous. It's just horrendous, and I really think he's affecting Ryan Pulock as well. Pulock went a -4 tonight, -4, and I really think this wasn't happening before Pelech returned, and now that Pelech's returned, all of a sudden. Pulock goes into the dumpster. So it might be time to break those guys up and just try some different combos. Maybe put George back with Pulock and Mayfield and Pelech together and see what happens there. I'd leave Romanoff and Dobson together, even though Dobby's a tire fire as well. So that's who we'll be talking about tonight. I've never seen so many poor passes by Dobson tonight, passing out of the slot to passing up so many shot opportunities. It was just horrible. The overpassing from the Islanders tonight was atrocious, and Dobson was one of the biggest was one of the biggest guys doing that tonight for sure. Not happy with Dobson's game at all. Once I really was against trading Dobson, but I'm at the point now where, if you can get a great return for Dobson, I would go for it. I'm just not seeing. I'm just not seeing the defensive side of the puck pick up at all. And if he's not going to play his offensive side like he did last year, yeah, I'd trade him. Mayfield, had a really bad giveaway tonight, uncharacteristic for Scott, but he's only -1 tonight. And he didn't have much ice time tonight, got hurt a little bit at the end there as well. So he only got 12 and a half minutes of ice time. Romanoff, not his best game either, but he still gave his hit out there that he normally does, almost put Quinn into the Islander bench. So he did okay. Isaiah George had a really bad giveaway on the seventh goal there. But so many people had so many bad giveaways, so many bad overturns. As for Sorokin, I've already talked about him tonight. Obviously, not his best game, but what we did to him tonight as fans is just not acceptable from me. That's for sure. This guy has been holding this team together, and I get the frustration from the Islander fans. Don't get me wrong, I'd have probably been out there booing the team as well, but Ilya's definitely not the guy that I would be giving the Bronx cheer to, that's for sure. Okay, so huge opportunity to get back into the race, to feel good about yourself going into Christmas time, getting back to 500, a fully healthy team. We accomplished none of that. We've got the fully healthy team. Obviously, we're still not up to speed yet because we need those guys to get playing like they can play, especially Pellick. I mean, Duclair and Barzell, they're just you can see they're already getting better, but Pellick is the one who's really struggling the most right now. So we've got our work cut out for us after the Christmas break, back to back against Pittsburgh, and let's be real here. We really need to sweep that series to come back after the Christmas break to give us any kind of guidance towards going towards a playoff spot. Because then we've got Toronto back to back after that, and there's good possibility we could lose both those games. I know we're good enough to win both those games, but I'd say the possibilities are stronger that we could lose them rather than winning them. So it's looking a little bleak right now going into Christmas. It's sad because I was all excited about having a good Christmas and not worrying about the Islanders, and now I'm just like, just leaving such a sour taste in my mouth going into Christmas. Anyway, I want to wish everybody out there a very Merry Christmas. I always say Merry Christmas, when I say Merry Christmas to somebody, whatever your denomination or whatever, it means whatever it means to you. So whether that be happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, whatever it is, it's Merry Christmas for me. And Merry Christmas, no matter what your denomination is, it's just my way of saying, I hope you have a great Christmas holidays. So all you guys and girls out there, you take care and peace out.